Last year, we passed a roads bill to increase the funding for the state of South Carolina's highway system. It's been crumbling. It hadn't been done in about 30 some odd years. We needed to do something to fix it. We did that. And there's, as you know, riding around, there's a lot of orange cones out there. The thing is to get Secretary Hall, we're been working for months to try to get her just to come to Anderson, do some town halls. She was willing and still is to do them all across the state. And she's done several across the state, but none really in Anderson, to bring her here and say, hey, we got a lot of interstate in Anderson County. And we've been paving a lot of it going north, as you can tell. We've got a lot of bridges, hoping to widen. I think one of the future projects is to widen from exit 19 to the Georgia line. So, I mean, there's a lot of things in future needs for Anderson County. There's current needs that's going on, increased funding for C funds. So just have her come up and explain, this is, what we're doing at the DOT. This is how we rate our road projects. These are the things that are happening. This is where your money's going. This is the future plan for your dollars. Knowing how long a project takes is something I think that folks don't realize, that the quickest thing you do is resurface it. If you start widening a road, depends on whether it's a federal road or not, it could take years to go through permitting processes, especially if you got lakes involved and you got to get the Corps involved. It could take some time for there. You talk about it, but there's no action, and I think that's people, seeing's believing, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I can see it happening now, but what took so long? Well, we had to go through all these permitting processes. Even though it's a state agency, you still have to go through the permitting.
Why are you spending your time traveling around the state talking about what's going on with the roads?
Well, I think it's important for the taxpayers to know just what the state DOT is doing with the new gas tax money, as well as all the other funds that the agency is entrusted with. Revenues are coming in exactly as projected, so no shortfalls with those. And we basically moved forward with the plan that we laid out prior to the passage of the new gas tax. The DOT actually follows an objective analytical process for determining which projects are picked, and that was put into place by the state lawmakers many years ago, and of course we still follow that process even with the new money. So the new money didn't change our processes. All it did was enable us to grow our existing planned programs. So it really means more resurfacing projects, more paving projects, more bridge projects, more interstate widening projects, and actually the creation of a safety program designed to target some of our rural areas of the state, much like here in the Anderson area. DOT was trying to live on a 1987 salary for all practical purposes. And even though the state gas tax was set at 16 cents a gallon all in prior to the recent increase, the buying power of that was roughly about a nickel. When you really get down to what can I buy in today's dollars versus 1987 dollars, we were trying to get by on a nickel. Obviously working at the DOT for more than 2 decades, I'm very much aware of the condition of the roads in our urban areas and rural areas. I worked this region for a long time. In my career, worked up this way for about 10 years. Enjoyed every minute of it. I'm from this area. Very familiar with this community, and I understand the unique needs of this area versus, say, downtown Columbia. But thanks to the new gas tax, I would very glad to report that we've made remarkable progress just in our first year. We had laid out a 10-year plan for recovery of the system, and our first year results are in, and we had a record-breaking year. We've tripled our workload as far as work out on the street. You can see it everywhere you drive in the state. You can see new paving projects going on. We're 15 months roughly into the collection of the new gas tax. So we've got the first year of our 10-year plan under our belt. And we have over $3 billion, that's with a B, $3 billion worth of highway work underway all across the state. Thanks to the new funding that's been dedicated to the DOT and put into that trust fund, we've been able to triple our road and bridge construction program. $3 billion in signed road and bridge contracts out on the street today. We followed the plan that we laid out well in advance of the passage of the new gas tax. We said we were going to focus on 4 main areas of investment to rebuild our system. Do you know that South Carolina is #1 in the nation in the rural road fatality rate, significantly higher than the second one? In other words, we have the deadliest rural roads in the nation. So we developed and launched a rural road safety program, and that was funded and identified as part of our 10-year program, and we've moved forward on that, some projects of which are right here in Anderson. There was a reform effort that was passed of the DOT about 10 years ago, kind of one of the first steps of fixing the system before an investment was made into roads and bridges. And part of that initial reform was saying, DOT, you have to take politics out of road selection, and you must pick projects based on objective and quantifiable criteria. So we laid out and developed what we call a 10-year plan, and it's, again, based on those strategic objectives: paving projects, bridge projects, interstate widening projects, safety projects, and laid out over a 10-year period with certain levels of investment, what could we deliver? In other words, tying a dollar invested to a predicted outcome. Some call that a return on investment. So this 10-year plan, besides just aligning the agency to common targets and goals, it allowed us to reach out to some of our other transportation partners, the County Transportation Committee. It enabled us to go out to those County Transportation Committee members, meet with them and say, here's the priorities that the DOT is going to invest in. These are the type of roads that we plan to resurface with our funding. Here's what we would like to see the CTC invest in, so that together we can lift the system up and recover the system over a period of time. Increased transparency. The funding is going into a trust account. Each and every single month, the DOT posts what I call a check register, a list of projects, the commitments against those projects, and actually we have out there our annual forecasted revenues and then the actuals as they come in. So we're putting all the information out there for the public to see just what we're doing with the dollars. So our engineers did a lot of data analysis, came back and said, we've identified about 2,000 miles of highways in the state of South Carolina. That's the worst of the worst, the most deadly sections of highway, and we believe we can make a difference on those highways. Let's focus our efforts on the 2,000 miles of highway. And so that's what we've done. This map basically shows those highways. There are some here in Anderson County, US 29, as one of the worst highways in the state when it comes to safety. And so we've moved forward with some projects and initiatives to try to clear back the right-of-way to be able to provide a citizen who runs off the edge of that highway a chance to live, a chance to recover, a chance to get back on the road. So with that program over our 10-year period, we thought, well, we should be able to target about 100 miles a year of addressing the worst of the worst highways from a safety standpoint every year, for a total of about 1,000 miles overall. I'm glad to report that as of today, we're actually a little bit over 150 miles of those roads have been worked on or being worked on. About 80% of our highways in South Carolina need some sort of repair, either minor repair or major repair, major rebuild. Most of the paving projects that are needed in this state today are complete reconstructions, all the way from the foundation up. And when I look at our backlog of maintenance needs on pavements, it was an $11 billion issue by itself. Our plan is to dramatically increase our paving program over time. We have already actually doubled it from 2015 levels. We were about $200 million back in 2015. We're currently at about $401 million in paving projects across the state, and our plan, based on the gas tax being phased in 2 cents a year for the next several years, we will increase that paving program every year in accordance with that increase. And so by the time we get to full implementation of the increase of the gas tax, our paving program is going to have grown from $200 million all the way up to about $700 million. Currently, what we're predicting is about 1 to 2% of improvement on the system overall every single year. Your road conditions should improve 1 to 2%. We just got our first year results in based on the year 1 of the gas tax, and I'm proud to say that we actually achieved about 5% improvement on the condition of the highways. And as we continue these interstate resurfacing projects like the one here on 85, that number will continue to climb for us. We actually have dramatically increased our bridge program, and we've laid out a target to try to eliminate what we call load-restricted bridges or structurally deficient bridges in the state. So a load-restricted bridge is a bridge that a school bus can't cross over or a fire truck. Dramatically increased our bridge investment to about double our pre-gas tax level increases. About $180 million this current year in bridge replacement projects. Our 10-year plan is to address 465. Clearly, if you do the math and say, well, 46 on average should be what DOT should be accomplishing, I have to say that we're certainly on schedule, if not a little bit ahead of schedule on our bridge program. And we recognize the importance of widening our existing interstates because that is the economic engine to help this area continue its growth. So while, yes, we're all about pavements, yes, we're all about fixing bridges, yes, we're all about safety, we also recognize that we can't ignore the congestion and capacity issues that we have on our interstate system. We have to address that as well. And so we've developed and launched a 10-year plan for our interstate program, billions of dollars planned to invest in that for the state. And again, about $1 billion of it is right here on the 85 corridor. Our 10-year plan is roughly about 140 miles of widening on the interstate system. We currently have more than 70 miles under construction today with more to come. Congratulations to the DOT staff because they are the ones who moved this program forward. We still got a long way to go, but I feel like we've got things moving in the right direction and putting the dollars where we said we were and moving on out with the program.
COG stands for the Council of Governments, and MPO stands for the Metropolitan Planning Organization. And these are local transportation planning organizations that get funding from DOT for intersection operational improvement type projects. And they actually pick these type of projects. DOT does not. The new roundabout at Concord Road and Harris Bridge Road, the roundabout there, this was kind of a really funky intersection that just did not work very well. There had been some accidents there. So we've gone in and put a roundabout. It has recently been open to traffic and should be fully complete shortly. From mile marker 18 to 21, we're going in and taking out a significant amount of asphalt. From mile marker 21 to 34, we're putting a new driving surface on top of the asphalt there. And also we're going to be putting in new pavement markings and rumble strips to make that section of interstate safer. And that's almost done. The US 29 Rural Road Safety Project and the importance of that project. And I mean, if y'all have driven down that road, it's kind of like driving down a tunnel. And there have been, I believe there were close to 30 serious injuries or fatalities along that corridor. It's the number 2 corridor in the state for us to address. So we're going to be doing, I think it's right about 14 miles of improvements. Phase 1 is going to go from 76 to the 29 connector. And then phase 2 will go on all the way out to I-85. But it's going to include resurfacing. We're going to put 4-foot wide paved shoulders. We're going to put rumble strips along the edge of the pavement. We're also going to put rumble strips down the center line and also some guardrails. So again, a huge improvement to that road that's going to save lives. And we're very excited about that project. And that should start middle of the year next year. And thanks to the road bill, Anderson County's allocation of resurfacing money is going to double over the next few years. Again, huge amount of work. Each county has a county transportation committee, and previously, before the roads bill, 2.66 cents of the gas tax was distributed out among the county transportation committees to spend. Thanks to the roads bill, that's bumping up about 1/3 of a cent each year until it gets to 4 cents. And again, that money goes out to the county transportation committees. They are the folks that decide how to spend that money. And the county transportation committees differ a little bit from county to county, but I believe in Anderson, I believe they are appointed by the legislative delegation. And that chart there just shows you how that funding is bumping up and is going to continue to bump up. Please go to our website and check it out. We've recently revamped it. It's more user-friendly, and transparency is literally front and center. Our IT folks came up with this, and this is awesome. You can see all the work that we have going on. You just got to zoom in, and it pulls up all the projects. And again, that's where that picture I was showing you earlier came from. This is on the website. You can go to it, and you can see, and it's constantly updated. If you click on a project, it pulls up that little box right there. It's got a description of the project. It's got what kind of project it is. If it's under construction, it's got an anticipated completion date, and it's got contact information for the project manager. Their name, their email, and their phone number. So if you've got a question about a project, there's your contact person. Please feel free to reach out to them. I mean, we encourage public participation, and we want y'all to be fully informed of what's going on in your neighborhood and what we're doing. This is all part of just trying to be good stewards and really show y'all. Our people work really hard. They work in the cold. They work in the heat. They work in the rain. Please be mindful of them when you're driving through a work zone. I mean, they're doing incredibly hard work in hard physical conditions. At the same time, people are blowing past them, a couple of feet away, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. So please let them work, let them live.